up, fight fans? This is TSG Alyas here, back again with another banger. Today we are with the returning guest because we have the first ever Gulf Coast lightweight champion in the house. We got Mr. Frank Bunkley. Frank, how you doing today, bro?
Good, brother. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Hey, thank you for taking the time out to talk to me.
For sure, man. No problem at all. I appreciate you having me.
Of course, of course. I know the last time we talked, our interview got cut a little bit short, but this time we
Yeah,
got an unlimited amount of time in this one. So I'm glad to talk to you, man.
for sure, for sure. We definitely got plenty of time to chop it up now.
Yeah, for sure. And for boxing fans that don't know you just yet, how did you get into the sport?
Oh man. So let's see, probably 13 years ago. I've been boxing last month, 13 years. I actually had a buddy of mine lived across the street from me. Bunch of kids was had said they was gonna come jumping. My dad used to box. He'd come over to the house and whatever. Anyways, a bunch of them showed up. It was like 30, 40 of them. Anyways, my dad punked them all out. Whatever. He was like the next day. He was like, "I'm getting y'all in boxing." Like I'd already been involved, sort of in it, just from him used to box when he was young, and then growing up watching it and whatnot. And the next day, he literally took us to Southside off of DIP here in Alabama, and the rest is history. Been doing it 13 years, on and off, pretty much on though for the most part. I took a few years here and there, and then I ended up coming back in 20, I think it was 18 or 19, something like that. And since then, I've been back at it nonstop. So it's been a blessing.
You talked about, growing up watching the sport. What were some of your favorite fighters growing up?
Man, Mike Tyson comes to mind, and because my dad was still is a huge Tyson fan, and man, Tyson. We grew up watching Roy Jones. He also loved Roy Jones. Floyd, grew up watching Floyd. Really, really Canelo when he was younger. I remember watching him. Miguel Cotto. There's a lot. Manny Pacquiao. Andre Ward's really one of my favorites of all time.
Man, like you say those names and then like just brings me back to a time like growing up just watching those guys like the early 2000s or the late 2000s, early 2010s, Floyd taking over. Andre Ward was, probably arguably the pound for pound best boxer in the world. You know, it's crazy to think that like how how different, boxing has changed in, the 2020s. The sport has kind of like grown, like has a resurgence in popularity, and it seems like there's a
Mhm.
lot more like a lot more characters, but there's not really any guys taking over the game like Floyd and Andre Ward were like in the
Right.
past decade. But
Nope. Nobody really other than Terrence Crawford. I think he's next. I think he's the next one.
yeah, and but
Yeah,
I feel like
he's our era.
I feel like that too, but like I feel like Terrence was like was still like dominating in the Floyd era too. So it's like
True. True.
he kind of like bled through into this era. Like
Yeah,
he's like
that's also true.
so like
If
it goes.
if not him, I think Shakur is
I
that guy.
see.
I really do. I really do. I'm
I
big on
see.
him.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking that too, and it's interesting that you say Shakur because the Ring Magazine just announced Shakur versus Teofimo's official for
I seen
next
that.
year. What do you think about that matchup?
Man, I got Shakur all day long, man. And don't get me wrong, Tio's a great boxer. He's a phenomenal boxer, and he's got a good style. I just think Shakur is a different level. I've been preaching this to people for years since I first seen him box, and especially him being like so tight with Bud and being in each other's camps and being there for each other, like being able to pick each other, like pick his brain and just be around him and soak it all up like a sponge, man. That dude, he's gonna be one of the best in the world. He already is one of the best in the world. But like I said, I've been high on him for a minute. Like I've been telling people, like I'm telling you, Shakur, like defensively, he's really really hard to hit, and I just don't think T.O. is gonna be able. Like, is he gonna get touched? Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do that for 12 rounds.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was talking to my buddy about this, and we were just saying skills pays the bills, and both Teo and Shakur are very skillful, but the slight ring IQ and speed advantage that Shakur has, I think will just kind of take him over the top. And you talked about it defensively, he's probably the best defensive fighter in boxing today, but it's just hard to game plan for him because he can counterpunch, he can move really well, fight out of range, he can fight on the inside if he has to. He showed it in the Zapata fight, so
Facts.
it's an interesting matchup. I do want to get back to your career though, because 2025 was a very big year for you. But before that, what was the moment you realized you really wanted to pursue boxing as a career, as a sport?
Man. Um, Probably back in it was either 22 or 23. I was in sometime I trained with a Sugar Rush fight team over there in the Bayou, and a guy named Marcellus Bosarge runs it. Um, and I was out there at his gym, and I was out of shape. I was probably pushing 220, 215 pounds. Yeah, I had been out of shape for years. Kind of just get back into the sport, training here and there, bouncing around. And I, seen some people that I know like getting island fights and stuff. And I'm like, man, I want to do that. Like I know I can be doing that. And I told Marcellus that, and a few other people that. And I was just out there one day, half-assing a workout. Marcellus was like, kind of, got on to me and was like, man, you say you want to do this, you say you want to do that, but you out here half-assing these workouts. I need you to, tighten up, whatever. I left, after that day or whatever. I was kind of mad. I was like, I ain't gonna train with this dude no more. But the more I thought about it, he's right. I am out here half-assing these workouts. Like I need to take this more serious if that's really what I want to do. And then literally the next day, I called up Mr. Ricky and or messaged him and got a spot in the middleweight slugfest, uh, the middleweight division. And then I don't know, like a month or two after that, fought for him. And ever since then, I just been like the very next one I dropped went to their lightweight. And ever since then, I've just been taking fights. I think I had an island fights in between that. Boom, boom, boom. Just been back to back ever since then.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about those slugfests. Is that like those was not like tough man competitions? Like
Yeah,
explain more about
they're
what
like a
that
tough
is.
man competition. They're you fight up to four people one night, 3 1-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves, headgear. Winner gets a belt and 2 grand. And I won for them in their lightweight division in March of 23, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's March 23. And yeah, four people one night, a belt and 2 grand. It's a pretty cool experience because like for me, I really liked it because I still am. I like to sit back. I like to be able to sit back and box and pick you apart and stay on the outside. But doing this, only having a minute, they're not the criteria they're based off of is forward aggression, power punches landed, and I can't remember the other one. But basically, you got to be pressure fighter. You need to be throwing punches, and that kind of helped me up my game doing so many of those tournaments, like having those 3 1-minute rounds where as soon as the bell rings right out of the gate, you got to be pressure applied like for all 3 rounds, minutes straight. So that really helped me bring a different level to my game.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know I talked to Josh Ricks about that because he did those tough man competitions and he was telling me
Absolutely.
about that. And it's almost, it's not like amateur boxing, but it is kind of in the sense that since it is shorter rounds, that you have to get all, like you have to like start quick
It's
and
the
get
same manner. Yep,
and
just
get
like you said. Like I preach this to when I'm coaching boxing all the time. Like I tell all my fighters, I'm like, if amateur win, lose or draw, it's all experience. But like when you're in there, you got to be fighting at a higher pace because the way these judges are judging it. Like you can't. They're not. You don't have 6 rounds. You don't have 8 rounds. You don't have 12 rounds to sit back. That was something I had to learn. So I always tell them, I'm like, when you're in there, like you know, make sure you leave it all out there. That's kind of how my last fight went. Like I just really had to make sure, like I left it all out there for every single second of every round to secure the win.
Yeah, and talking about that last fight, I mean, November 1st, you became the inaugural Gulf Coast lightweight champion, man. Talk to me about that moment, getting your hand raised and realizing that you won, your first belt.
Man, it's just unreal. Honestly, like I trained really hard this camp, and envision, man. Like that's a big thing with me. Is like I always envisioned, like I could go back through my messenger and find messages where I messaged Mr. Ricky and was like, I'm looking forward to you wrapping that belt around my waist tomorrow night. Like I really envision it before I even go out there and do what I have to do to secure the win. But it was really just unreal, man. I put in a lot of work, a lot of time away from family to make sure that I get this win and get this belt. And it's just something I really wanted to do to prove to myself and everybody else that knows me that I am at the top of this amateur game and headed into my pro career so I can, you know what I mean, be on the upper echelon of things.
For sure, for sure. And 2025 was a pretty big year for you, fought on island fights, ended the year with a Gulf Coast Gloves title. When you think about 2025 and reflect on it, what is your, overall assessment?
Man, I'm super, super happy with 2025 and my fight career. I fought uh, three times, was scheduled to fight four times, and I had a jiu-jitsu match, my first jiu-jitsu match. That was all from April of last year until November. So I fought Island Fights April against Vinny Navarro. Great scrap. I thought I won. I think a lot of people in the building thought I won. Judges saw it the other way. Like I said earlier, when loser draws, experience is what it is. Um, then I fought Hunter Watts to secure my title shot on Gulf Coast Gloves in July, and had a good fight with him. Won that unanimous decision. The very next weekend, I had a jiu-jitsu match at Mobtown's promotion, and ended up with a scrappy guy. He just got his blue belt, but at the time he was like I think it's 4 or 5 stripe white belt, whatever you call it. And he ended up getting me with a triangle with like 40 or 50 something seconds left in the round. But it was a fun experience. I had fun doing it. And then I just fought November 1st and won the title. But I was also scheduled to fight in May, um, but I ended up having to pull out of that because it was just too much of a turnaround. I had shutdowns at work between my April fight and my May fight, which was also for a title, which is why I pulled out. Because if it had just been any other old fight, I probably would have just went up there and fought because I could have made the weight. But I was like, man, being this is for a title, like I want to be able to give it my all. I would, you know what I mean? Want to go up there and just fight just cause.
For sure. And it's interesting you talk about work and this amateur game, boxers are not getting paid. You're doing it for the love of the sport, getting reps and stuff like that. So you are balancing, a work-life balance, balancing family, balancing work, balancing, full-time training and getting fights, how have you had to adjust, kind of doing that?
It's hard, really is hard, man. It's a it's a hard thing to do when you have, like you said, work, family, kids, training. You're in camp. It's a really hard thing. I really had to try and schedule my days out and do certain things on certain days. And really in camp, I'm in the gym 3 to 4 days, sometimes more, but and sometimes less. But when I'm not in the gym, we were just talking about this like literally 30 minutes ago at the gym. And I was like, this again, we were telling one of our fighters, we were like when you're not in the gym, you got to be working at home. Like, so when I'm here, like I'm at home, like sometimes I get off work, I just go run 6 miles. That's my workout for the day. Run 6 miles, get back. That way I'm here with my family still. Might take me an hour, but I mean, that's a hour of work that I got in. I sweat. I got cardio. I did something. Um, it's a balance or a struggle to balance for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're not going through, this struggle alone. Your brother is, one of your trainers, cornering you in your fights. How does it feel to go through this journey with him?
Man, it's a blessing, dude. That's people say ride or die. That's literally my best friend in the whole world, and to have him in my corner, like I said in our last interview, like he really don't get the credit he does, man. He's got like I got a good boxing IQ, but he does too. He really does, and like I said, we really break these opponents down, and we're already gonna start doing the same thing on the next one. Like he just he's always there for me. He's checking in on me in camp. Popping in the gym, and he's actually about to be in this next camp with me, so things should be even better. He's gonna be actually at the gym more, and they're training with us, sparring with us, etc. So it's gonna be fun, man. And it's like I said, it's just a blessing to have my baby brother in there with me.
For sure, for sure. And it's interesting. You represent Mobile, Alabama. Hard repping them. It's interesting because next year Island Fights is making its return to Alabama and Mobile back in
I
March.
see that.
How excited are you for that card?
That's pretty cool, man. I seen that, and I heard some rumors of it a while back. I didn't know how true it was, but when I seen it the other day, I was like, "That's awesome, man!" Like, we really need that here in Alabama, and I'm glad Allen Fights is coming back. I hope they continue to come back, and I got a lot of buddies that are going to be on that card, and a lot of students, training partners, whatever you want to call them, all going to be on that card. So I'll probably be there for that event myself. Probably won't be fighting on it, but probably will be there.
Yeah, for sure. And you fought on, you fought multiple times on Gulf Coast gloves. You fought on Island Fights, but there's one promotion that I think you would be tailored to that you still haven't stepped in the ring for yet, and that's Off the Hook, man. When do you
For
think we could
sure.
see you in the Off the Hook ring?
So as of right now, my plans for 2026, and a wrench could get thrown on that at any moment. I don't know, but I've already talked to Mr. Ricky about my next fight with him, which is probably Moses Sanders. Not 100% sure yet. Still some fine details got to talk about and whatnot, but that's probably somewhere around March. And then I'd like to have after that another jiu-jitsu match and an MMA amateur MMA match, just to say I did it. It's something I've been dabbling in for close to 2 years now, and I just want to do it just to do it. So I don't know, somewhere around like probably April, May, June, I'll probably do MMA match, and then after that, I'm gonna come back to boxing and do one more amateur before I go pro. So I mean, you probably could see me on Off the Hook like I don't know, August, September, October, maybe. Um, maybe even earlier than that, maybe July. Just depends on how it all plays out. But I do want to box on Off the Hook, and I will be more than likely making my pro debut on there, if not my first, my last amateur match.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you talk about wanting to take an amateur MMA fight because the training that is required for MMA, it requires a lot more time, a lot more skill set in terms of
Right.
your groundwork. You have to be educated with your feet, not
Mhm.
just footwork. The footwork is different in MMA than it is with boxing. You
Mhm.
have to defense is different because now you have to implement. You have to worry about kicks. You have to worry about the takedowns. You have to worry about the clinches. So training MMA, how do you balance that training with MMA and boxing? Because sometimes if you train a lot more MMA, maybe the boxing skills or maybe the tools might be
Mhm.
a little bit rusty and stuff like that.
Right, that's a great question. I actually get asked that a lot. It's almost like a switch, I guess you would say. Like, and I guess it kind of helped me being a boxer at first because when I transitioned into training MMA, like I already like when we were just talking about this at the gym earlier too. Like I had to condition or train myself, if you will, like to stand differently, keep my hips a little wider when I'm like doing MMA. Just a few different little things that I have to do different. But I know if like, all right, so like I'm on the mats and we're sparring, say it's like a thumping Thursday. Well, we got people in there with shin guards on and stuff too. If you go in with them, and like when I'm out of camp, I'll do some MMA. So like if I'm going with them, I know I'm doing MMA. But if I'm going with the next person, they're just a boxer. Boom! Now I can flip that switch in my head, and I'm like, okay, now I can be here. I don't have to worry about this leg kick. My leg can be flat, more heavy footed to the ground on my front leg. It's kind of a thing you have to train yourself to be able to switch on and off. I feel like, and I can go from one to the other. Just kind of depends.
I think when you're actively training both and you're actively competing in both, I think the adjustment's a lot easier because you see
Hmm.
like a lot of guys, a lot of MMA guys that try to transition into boxing, like for example, like a Tyron Woodley. He was training MMA for MMA fights for so long that the transition into pure pro boxing was a little bit more difficult for him, especially for a guy if he an opponent that he's facing, let's just say Jake Paul who was just
Mhm.
training the sport solely for 3 straight years
Right.
at that point. So I definitely can see where it was an easier transition for you, man. You know, 2025 was a very big year for you. What's your goals for 2026?
Man, just work, keep working, man. Just like I say, win, lose, or draw, it's experience. At the end of the day, none of these belts, none of this, none of it. Is it cool to win it? Absolutely, but none of it means nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fighting to get experience. I'm fighting, obviously, to win, but like I say, it's all experience at the end of the day. And I don't want to necessarily say stay busy because I stayed pretty busy last year, but I definitely want to stay active, should I say. And I'm pretty active. I'm pretty much always in the gym, whether I'm like, even not in camp, I'm at least there 2 days a week coaching or moving around, doing something. And, even at home, running a mile, whatever it is, I'm just to stay active and keep moving.
Yeah, and Frank, since this is our second interview together, I always like to play a little game with our guests. You down to
Okay.
do that?
Okay. Come on.
All right, so one of my favorite teams to coming out of the southeast region is your guys' team, Team AMP, and you guys have a lot of talent out there. So today we are going to blind rank AMP teammates' boxing skills. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 5 teammates. You're gonna blind rank them 1 to 5. Can't change the ranking at all,
Oh
and this is
man.
based purely on the boxing skill. Just purely
Okay.
not.
Y'all don't get mad at me now.
Hey, hey, man, you're gonna have to sell that in sparring. All right, so the first guy I got. You, by the way, you're not on the list, so you're good.
Good.
All right, first guy, you got Cam Teague.
One to five, one being best, five being worse.
Yes,
Okay, we'll go three on Cam T.
he's just a guy like that. Just comes in there to fight. Like when he,
He marches forward and he's coming to fist fight. For
yeah,
sure.
like when he fought on off the hooks or inaugural card. When I asked him about the game plan, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't really have a game plan. I just did what I usually do, just
Yeah,
stand in
that's
there and
Cam
bang."
T.
Yeah, so I could respect that. Next guy I got. We got the big man. We got John Orso.
Man. Well, let's put John at two.
When we talk
'Cause
about
he's
tough,
just he's just got raw, man. I'm telling you, Big John is the hardest hitting person I've ever in my 13 years been in a ring with ever.
when we talk
He,
about those tough man competitions, that's the first guy I think of when I think about that. That
absolutely.
man is a beast.
Dude is different. He's got unreal power.
Shoot. Next guy we got. We got a boxer now. We got Joshua Riggs.
Uh-huh. All right, so what we got? We got one, four, and five. We'll go four.
All right, all right.
Just we could probably do some swapping around on this list, but
We could do that. I might I
a
might I
blind
might make
ranking.
I might make an exception after the initial ranking. We'll see. But his performance at the last off the hook was a banger. Like it was just I think the sheer aggression that he showed in that one, and then the body shot that
Yes,
he dropped Marco with, lethal.
absolutely, man. Josh is a really good talent, man, and he works hard. He works out a lot, just about every damn day, and he's very disciplined, man. Proud of him, how far he's come.
For sure, for sure. Next guy we got Logan Tillman.
Well, I feel like I know where this is going, so I feel like I got to put Logan at five now. So
So
sorry, Logan.
you might know
Now,
where
we'll
it's
go Logan.
going.
Logan wants to shoot takedowns anyways, probably leg kick somebody, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
ain't gonna
And
be
he's
too mad
he's
at
an
that
MMA
anyways.
guy at heart, so like, but he did take that off the hook fight, so I was
Absolutely,
impressed with
man,
that.
and beat Juice, and Juice is
Yeah,
a
Juice
pretty
is
decent
Juice is a
fighter,
tough
man.
guy. He just fought on the Danny Garcia card right
Yeah,
after.
yeah,
That's a tough dude right there.
yeah,
So
yeah, man. That was a good win for Logan.
I think you may have thought where I was going, but I think I forgot that he was on the team, so I didn't put his name on the list. So this is who I have in the last spot. So you have number one open.
Yeah,
All right, we got Blake Anthony.
that's who I was gonna put up there.
Okay, okay.
Blake's boxing is very sharp. That's why I said I feel like I know where you're going with this. But yeah, Blake's you're probably thinking Tim's, huh? Yeah, I was gonna
Hmm.
say Tim's would be above them all, but yeah, Blake out of Amp, everybody in Amp, yeah, Blake's for sure got the best boxing, man. Like I said, I brought him in this last camp to give me some rounds. He's got a super high volume, and me and Blake been knowing each other for years, so we always get some work in for sure.
Could you imagine Blake in a boxing ring in a boxing fight? Like just the sheer volume, just the creativity in his striking too.
Yeah, I'll actually funny enough, and I think it was the third slugfest that I entered. Me, my brother, and Blake entered it, and me and Blake actually fought in the second round. I think this was 20, was this 22 or 23, something like that. And we're both still amateurs, but he won off of points. He was like I think you might have got it, and then they raised his hand, but he ended up giving me his spot because he was like, man, it was like, no, it was like I'm sick of this. He was like, you want my spot? Go get it, man.
That's crazy. But
It was fun.
yeah, I think that's a solid list. I think that was a solid list. Really, I mean, all these guys. I'll say this right now. All these guys are like great strikers. I'll
Oh
just
yeah,
throw it
for
out now.
sure.
There's no five is not like a
Yeah,
low
yeah, yeah.
because
It's a
like
pretty
you're
hard
talking
list to
about
run.
straight killers in that team. And I do want to ask, is there a guy that fight fans should look out for coming out of AMP?
Out of Amp, Josh, man, just keep your eye on Josh. Josh is oh, I tell you another one, Champ. Y'all just saw him fought at fight at Isla Fights. Champ.
Oh,
They call
yeah.
him Champ. I've been knowing Champ for a long time since he was about this tall. Champ did some USA amateur boxing with us back in the day, and he's now at Amp. And Champ hit like a brick wall, like for real.
He
Champ,
he
and he,
knocked
and he
down his
can
opponent.
box.
He knocked down his opponent. He made such quick work of his last fight, knocked him down 3 times that like he wasn't able to showcase those intangibles because he just made it look easy. He got him out in quick work, but
Hmm.
man, that's a guy I do want to see. I want to see more of. So yeah, I'm glad you said that, man. And Frank, before I let you go, my last question to you, man, is there a message that you want to give to, friends, family, supporters heading into the new year?
Man, I'm just blessed and grateful just every day to be here living this life that I live and alongside the people that I do. And I'm, like I said, blessed and grateful and very appreciative of everybody that supports me and looks out for me and loves me. And just know it's all the same back.
The champ is in the building. Frank Bunkley, thank you so much, for taking the time out to talk to me. You had a great 2025, and I look forward to seeing what you do in 2026.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on.